Now you know how to work it.
Well, goodness only knows.
This will be on.
This is different.
Well, it's been enough.
Morning. Oh, hey, it hasn't got that view thing on it anymore now. Morning, you all right?
Yes, are you?
Yes, thank you.
How are you getting on with the walking?
Oh, I'm not.
Oh,
We've got a one-to-one this afternoon.
oh lovely.
1:30, haven't we, Pops? Yeah. Yeah, she's worse in some situations. On our little route around some streets, she still pulls, but not too bad. But if she's gone to somewhere like the fields, it's horrendous.
It's excellent, isn't it?
It's awful, aren't you? Naughty girls. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Morning. Feeling a bit rough then, Maria?
Yeah, just washed out.
Yeah.
What do anything?
Is it the AstraZeneca you had?
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend had that and she really had a very bad reaction. She was in bed for 5 days. It affected her sight. She was sick, headaches, joint pain. She said she's never felt so ill in her life.
Oh my goodness.
My mum was the same.
We both ache, but just feel washed out really.
Yeah, she felt completely exhausted. Well, she makes me laugh sometimes, but she said she felt that ill that at one point she thought she was going to pop her clogs. That's how bad she felt. She actually woke her husband up in the middle of the night to tell him she loved him because she felt so ill from it.
Oh goodness me. Oh dear. No,
I
I
had
don't feel
the
like that.
Oxford one.
I think it affects different people in different ways, doesn't it? Some people it's not hardly bothered at all, but yeah. It's not good.
Really, it's not making me want to stay in bed or anything, but I just don't feel like doing anything.
Yeah, no, she was really poorly, but she's the worst one I've heard. You know, other people have not been anywhere near as bad as she has, but I had the Pfizer, so I only had a bad arm for a couple of days. That's all I had. But yeah, never mind, it's better than catching COVID, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we don't know, do we? I mean, not that I advocate not having the jab, but most people that have COVID aren't poorly, are they? Some don't even know they've got it. It's a lottery, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I suppose though, the older you are, the more chance of being poorly you've got. So yeah, we'll just have to see.
It did make me sort of question, I don't think I'm having the second jab, because I felt like I'd got flu, but without the flu bit, just ache all over and grumpy, headache, awful headache. But it only lasted, I had it done on the Friday and it lasted, Thursday, and it lasted till the Sunday, and then I was fine, but that was the Oxford.
Yeah.
Morning, Julie.
And then
Morning.
carry on. I've been listening. I've just been banging about, so I didn't think you'd want to watch me tidy the house.
Well, a big news flash. We got a full night's sleep.
Way.
Well, if you class full night as 5 o'clock in the morning, but we did.
Brilliant.
That's nice, Julie.
Yes.
That's because he had school last night and he was so tired after that he actually went to sleep.
He barely did anything. They were all asleep last night.
I know, it was lazy bones.
All of them, all the puppies. Oh, look. I think it's time for a haircut.
I cut Harry's hair yesterday.
So, how are you doing? I was listening in, so I was kind of wigging in.
Harry's on his way to Dawn. He's gone. He's taking Ralphie to go see Dawn.
Gonna get dodoed.
Yeah.
Get dodoed.
Gonna get dodoed. Yeah, we'll see. Good luck to him.
Mm.
I mean, you know, if he doesn't pass, it'll be for his best interests. We don't just
Morning.
go to everybody. We just.
What do you look for?
What do we look for? We look for confidence, social stability, so that even if they get told off, they're not going to go away and sulk about it forever. They're going to think about it a bit and then come back and try a different way. Yeah, that they're not going to drive the older dogs so crazy that they'll act inappropriately aggressive back towards them.
Oh no. He might
No.
try and shag him, but that'll be. He's got into the habit of that at the minute.
Yeah,
Sid's up against. If Sid gets up against the fence looking at the neighbour's dog, he's in there.
It'd be the other way around at ours. He's more likely to get bonked, but Dodo regularly gets bonked, and he just stands there going, "Oh, for God's sake!"
I know the feeling.
Yes, you did say that out loud.
Remember
Ah, love it.
You're gonna have to curb that if you're thinking about being a dog trainer.
Really?
No, I didn't. I did last night at the puppy class, didn't I? I had to apologise because I realised there was a 12-year-old.
Oh, you let the side down there, Julie.
12-year-old found it hilarious, I think.
Yeah.
So, other than that, and the fact that obviously we're not aiming at getting perfect dogs, are we? We're getting dogs that fit with our lifestyles and don't drive us too crazy and have their own right to speak and their own personalities, which Dodo was showing off really well in puppy class last night.
It was a star.
Other than that, how are we getting on? Go on, give us a report. I know that because Leanne is just a little demon with her training. I have a sneaking suspicion that she's gone ahead already and that she's already started to get the dog to copy without too many additional cues. Is that the truth, or are we putting you?
Kind of. So we've got copy down and we're going copy to like other things now, but I'm still having to kind of like point a little bit, like copy, and then, but she's getting the word copy. Like as soon as I say copy, she's like, oh, what you doing? So yeah, so we're getting there.
I noticed when I watched my video back, as much as I was thinking that I wasn't giving additional cues, I was very much doing this, directing her towards the stool. So I'm
keep
going to
noticing
try.
that.
Yeah, I'm going to
You want to help.
You do, absolutely. And I think to a degree, to begin with, it's necessary because we're asking them, you know, brand new pathways. To begin with, it's necessary, but it's also important if we're going to find out whether or not they actually understand the concept of that thing I just did, you need to do it now, then we want to get rid of all those additional helps, don't we? So what stage is everybody at? Who's going to volunteer a report? Go on then, Jill. Let's mute everybody and we'll take you one at a time. And Sammy's already muted, bless her. Oh, I think you and me had a fight with the mute button there, Jill. Sorry, Judith. So, Jill, let's get
Yes, we've had a little go every day. Yesterday, she was getting on the stool, because we do the paws on the stool rather than the chin. She was putting her paws up on the stool with me just after me putting my hands up, but whether that's just luck or whatever, I don't know, because she did it a few times, but she doesn't do it every time. But also I'm finding as soon as I put the stool down, she's there with her paws on it. Because I think she's expecting she's going to get a treat. But yesterday she was doing it after I was just putting my hands on and not actually saying anything. But that could be a complete fluke. And today she mightn't do it at all. Well, I see. I think it depends sometimes what sort of mood she's in as well, and what
All right.
distractions we've got.
That brings up, what you've just said brings up a couple of thoughts. First of all, cues are not just things we do, are they? Cues are everything in the environment, everything in that setup. Yeah? So for her, as you've said, the cue of the object coming out is a cue for her to put her feet on it.
Yeah.
The next thing that brings up is that's why it's so important that we get that weight cue really strong, so that we can try and explain to them it's after I've shown you. Yeah. So this is all about cue discrimination. Clearly the cue of the object, that's part of the picture for the dog's point of view. We need to discriminate for them when that action is actually required, as opposed to when it's not required. Does that make sense? And that's where the weight comes in. There was another thing, and you said, I can't remember, I grabbed my notepad after you'd finished talking. So when I usually watch my video back, if I pick up whatever it was, then I'll come back to that. But it sounds like she's getting it. And I think, oh yeah, that was it. Monitoring. How do we know whether or not it's a fluke? Well, that goes back to that sheet, doesn't it? That goes back to that keeping a record of how often you've tried it. That criteria, with that clear picture in your mind of what you're expecting, whether or not the dog actually achieves that criteria repeatedly and fluently, so that they've really got it inside their heads. So did I ever actually send you the copy of the Word document? Because I know I completely cocked up last week. I think I'd laid too much on my head. So you need the Word record sheet so that you can edit it. If I do a copy as a PDF and a Word as well, then you should be able to edit and use it yourself, in theory. Yeah. Okay, so who's next then? Who else wants to do a report for me? Let's see if we can pick up any other concerns or issues. Oh, no volunteers. It's Sammy. Was that a wiggle? That was a wiggle from Sammy. Go on then.
I found myself, we've got no further than what we did last week, but with, you see, like already, my hands, they're here. This is what I've got to concentrate on, because I'm too like this all the time. And he's starting to get, he gets quite frustrated with me right from the beginning. I'll sit on my hands. Yeah, so that's what I've got to concentrate on me rather than him, because I'm showing him everything and he's like, well, what do you want from me? Yeah, exactly. So that's where I'm struggling at the minute with him.
Absolutely. And dogs are so sensitive to body language, and it's their primary form of communication, that we can give them too much information and have them overload, you know. Absolutely. And I have exactly the same problem. You know, when I was a young veterinary nurse and we were scrubbed in and you're not allowed to touch anything, and I used to stand like this, and the you know, that irritated the surgeons in the end, and they said, look, will you just put your hands together?
Yeah,
so
I'm
now,
trying to.
When I'm really focusing on not flapping, you'll find I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm not being kind, actually. I really hurt my knuckles because I'm tensing so much to keep them still. So yes, flappy people, I think they find it really hard to quieten him, but it is important that we do try.
Oh yeah.
So that again, cue discrimination. Which hand signals do you actually want me to respond to?
Yes. Yeah.
So, but nice observation. And I think this is the big benefit of videoing yourself and being able to watch it back, because I hadn't realized just how much I was. Oh, Maria's died. Oh, okay, thank God. Oh, I had a panic attack then. All right. So yeah, if you're going to die, can you do it on video? Because otherwise we're just going to, you know, flesh you. Yeah. So nice observation though. Well done. Anyone else? You go on. Oh, look at Judith. You can do it. You know, you're amongst friends. Uh-oh. You there? You've gone and stopped.
He was getting.
Okay, so we've lost you, Judith. One thing that came up, oh, you're back. One thing that came up, and it might be worth you investigating, is you can change the resolution of your video when you're using Zoom. And if you use a lower resolution, you use up less of your internet, whatever, broadband, I don't know, something,
Right.
wave band, I don't know, one of them words. That it might be worth considering if you keep
Yeah,
having.
it's gone really crap at late. The
Yeah.
telly's dropping out. The neighbours is the same.
Yeah. So have a look at your resolution.
And every time I unmute or mute, that's when it drops out. So perhaps I'll just keep quiet all day.
Oh, no. Okay, give us a quick report and then I won't ask you to talk again unless you really want to ask something. You could always use the chat option. If I switch the chat on.
Yeah.
If I can remember how to do that.
Yeah.
So if you've got that
yeah,
available.
very like Jill, that Tilly was getting it. She did really well. Stop it. We did several repetitions and it was really good. And then she got really excited and was jumping on the stool and, right, what can I do now? I'll balance on my head. Can I have a treat? So yeah, very similar.
Okay, so beautiful.
So we had to go right back again.
Yeah. And I think if you keep observing that over arousal, over excitement, frustration kind of response, the dog's saying to you, do less trials, do less repeats, so that you're in that winning zone the whole time before they start to, you know, get crazy about it. So when you're doing your record sheets or when you're making, if you're not going to use the sheets, mental plan, I'm only allowed to do 2 or 3 sets of 3 trials, so 10 to 12 repeat maximum. And if that's too much for that particular dog, then you go down, you know, so you're only doing 2 sets. So that's 6 opportunities to get it right or wrong. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah.
So it's giving you information, and it's frustrating for us when our dog's doing really, really well and then they start to lose it. But we're the same, aren't we? You can think, I've got it. I really understand this. I'm doing it. No, I've lost it. And shit, now I don't know what I'm doing. And yeah, so we're exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's try and keep in the win zone. Right. Beautiful.
I'm going to lose you again for a... Oh, no.
Well done. You've done it, and you still appear to be there. Yeah, you are, and everything. All right then. Anyone else want to report? Otherwise, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pick on Leanne for a demo. Ah, go on then, because I was all excited about putting her on the spot. Then
We haven't got anywhere. She doesn't like the chin command at all. She will place her chin tentatively on my hand, and that's it. And it's just barely there. She's not. She tries to give me a paw all the time. When I put my hand out, obviously she's got that connection. So we're not getting anywhere with it. I think I need to choose a different.
Okay, well, we're going to try a different thing today. Later, we're going to try doing a down cue.
Okay.
It's going to be hilarious because my hips are really sore. But what I would think about the chin rest, have a think about choosing a surface which is kind of chin height when she's standing, where it would be kind of awkward for her to put a paw on. So she's more likely to go with head. Does that make sense? So try and think, you've got a piece of furniture that can be adjusted to that height by placing books on it or something, and make a really clear kind of cue for like a particular tea towel or something Yeah, so that
Yeah.
it looks different from how it normally looks, because you don't want her just going around randomly sticking her head on the furniture. And try that. So it makes it harder for her to offer the behaviour she prefers, and so much easier for her to offer the behaviour you prefer.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
And if she's never going to like it, she might, God knows, she might have a sore chin or something. If she's really against it and she really hates it, drop it. You know, I mean, so what? In the end, if she's, I like chin rest from vet's examination point of view, but for this particular exercise, it's meant to be something that you and the dog are enjoying. We're not going to force it on her.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that all right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So just mute you. Right then, I think it's showtime. Hello. Hello, Leanne.
You know I don't like being picked on.
You love it. Do you know that your confidence has grown massively as a result of all of this? I'm just saying.
I think it's her, to be honest. Ruru's made me a lot, made me a lot like more okay to do stuff. Before I wouldn't have done it at all. Now she really doesn't want to play. Ruru. Good girl. Sit. 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 Good girl. Wait there. Wait. I do it there, then you see. Wait. Copy. Yes, good girl.
Do we only get one go? All right, no, it was a good go though. All right, so you've got a very clear cue for the pointing, haven't you? Which you need to try and fade away. So when we're talking about fading cues, we're not just going to say, there was your cue and now it isn't. Although that does work for some dogs. Give them that thinking moment. Sometimes they'll just take that step themselves. But for most dogs, they're going to need for you to kind of start with your original, I'm definitely pointing out that object, and then perhaps the point doesn't go all the way, and then it's a little kind of finger flick, and then it's kind of disappearing, and the whole arm signal needs to disappear as well. So that's something I'm going to probably have to do when we do it with Twiggy just now. And remember, I don't do any practice at all because I'm a bad dog owner. I will be where we were last week. Yeah, so I need to fade that cue of me sort of signaling towards the object for her. Any other comments before we have a bash at it? Any other questions? Right then, so I think what we do, we start over at whatever point you think your dog is definitely going to win. And we're not competing with each other at all. So at whatever point you think your dog's going to win. So my plan for Twiggy would be to make sure that she's comfortable with the chin rest on cue, trying to do it on verbal cue, trying to get rid of my hand signal cue before I then start going on to the copy phase again. All right, so we'll do 3 minutes. You've got 3 minutes to start your, don't be in a rush to get ahead. Start with your dog on a win. A good set of 3 goes with a good result. Yeah, even if that means taking 2 steps back on your criteria, we want to make sure that they're on a win to begin with. Does that make sense? Yeah. So with Woo, let's see, do you want me to show first or do you want me to just let you all have a go? Show first. Okay. Let's go. Oh, where is she? Hello, monkey. Yeah, I did. I stood up. Can you go there? Good girl. Sit. Wait. Can you chin? Yes. Oh, that was a pathetic piece. Okay, you go there. Weight. Chin. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, go there. And sit. Weight. Chin. Good girl, very nice. Okay. Yay. All right, so that was 3 without me, or me absolutely making sure I wasn't giving those hand signals. So I didn't realize I hadn't put the camera, so that's why I dropped my hands so you could see that I wasn't actually giving any extra help. All right, so that's me starting to get rid of that habit that I've got of trying to help her. All right, so I'm going to try if you've got questions or you're not sure, just ask.
Are we doing chin or paws or whatever we feel?
Yeah, if you started with a behaviour that was simpler for your dog, so for example, Remy's doing paws because that made sense to her to use that as a behaviour. Do whichever behaviour you started with as your original. You don't have to do chin. Yeah, if you've got a behaviour that's stronger and your dog is happier about it, start with that. I think we've lost you again for a little bit. You're right, Judith, your mute button does upset your computer. And she's back.
Rem doesn't need the pointing. I think it was just me that needed it. Like, I've just done it without her, and it was literally just me, I think, who needs it.
We become addicted to cues as well, you know. We become reliant on cues.
I think a lot of the time, because obviously, like, sometimes English is my second language, I think sometimes I put words to actions. Yeah. So by putting the action there, I'm remembering the word I need.
And not wanting to be inappropriate, but do you not find that the French gesticulate quite a lot anyway? Sorry, inappropriate.
No, yeah, we do. We're always known for being quite big with our hands. It's fine.
So beautiful. Judith, we need to see that. I'm going to just put you on speaker view, and it might not work, actually. Let me try something else. If I leave you on mute, but I pin you, woo, that might work. Now, I think you need to nod your head to tell us because you're not on sound. I think you're only giving the copy cue. Is that true? So you're pretty much there, other than her being able to discriminate between when she's allowed to do it and when she's not. So the weight at the minute is the thing she's struggling with. Yes, beautiful. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Okay, how do I unpin you? This is fun. Oh, here we go. Remove pin. Ah! See, I want to change the view because all you're looking at is my boobies, but at the same time. So let's have a look at what's going on here. Somebody's having a meltdown. Did she poke you in the eye? You look like you're in tears. Look, dog training is meant to be fun. It's not meant to make you cry. Yeah, it's cute though. It's cute though. We like it. Okay. So who else is having a good go? Let's have a look at Sammy. Beautiful. So you're really focusing, Sammy, really, really well at keeping your hands still. I'm liking that. And it looks like he's almost on verbal cue, isn't he? He thinks he understands what you mean, but he's still looking for the body language to confirm it for him. Okay, let's see who else is going. Jill's disappeared. Maria's still alive. This is good. I think everybody's on to the next stage, aren't they? So next stage then, obviously, is to put your copy cue in. So, you ready? Go over there. Sit. Wait. Ooh, monkey chop. Go over there. Sit. Wait. Copy. Complete fluke. I was about to say the word. She's taken a step ahead. Let's see if it was a fluke. You ready, Sit? Wait. Copy. Chin. Good. So it was a fluke. She needed that assistance. And left her a gap to think. Yeah, so we'll see. That was 1 out of 2. Wait there. Copy. Yes. Good girl. So if I was doing an official score then, I'm not going to push beyond that criteria, am I? Because 2 out of 3 is good, but it's not good enough to know that she's definitely understanding. You could see her kind of go on the second go. She went, is this what you mean? Yeah, so she needed that extra help. She needed that old cue putting back in there to assist her. Does that make sense? So, but I think I've successfully got rid of my gesticulation signals. And I think she's starting to understand that when I put my chin on it, then she needs to put chin on it. I think she's starting to understand that's what copy means, but I wouldn't be willing to put money on it. So I don't want to be pushing to the next criteria after those trials. Is that making sense to everybody? Yeah. Okay, so I want you to see, change if you're ready or not. Now it depends. I can't see what everybody's sort of kind of score on their trials is. I don't want you to push. If you're not getting 3 out of 3, don't push to the next criteria. If you are getting 3 out of 3, change something a small amount. So either drop a physical cue, drop a verbal cue, see if you can just push it a tiny, tiny bit. Remember, you can always drop back like I just did for that second trial, add that assistance. Don't leave them worrying. Is that making sense? Okay, let's get gallery view. Andrea's just getting licked all over the shop. Did you put makeup on today? And have you got any left? Nice, Sammy. And again, there, all she just said, is this what you mean? Yeah, did you see that? He queried it. So he got it. Yes, beautiful. See, I love that Andrea's thinking outside of the box. I'm loving that you're thinking outside of the box. She's trying to find a way of explaining that's the easiest way for her dog to understand. And I think that's lovely. I think you can read books on how to do something with your dog, but every dog is different. The way that they learn and process information is different, depending on all sorts of things. And if you've got a really good relationship with your dog, you will be sensitive enough to see when they're struggling with a new concept, which Andrea's brilliant at. Okay, so I can see that you're all going forward with that really, really nicely. Do you agree? Is it a thumbs up for that from everybody, or has anybody got more questions on that particular game? If you've got questions, give me a wiggle, otherwise we're going to go on to the next one, which I'm dead excited about because I'm not sure I can get to the floor. Yeah? All right, so we're going to try teaching the same. It's still copy, it's still do as I do. And what I'd like to do is teach Twiggy that, so this is making my final goal statement. Yeah, my final goal statement is I want Twiggy, when I show her my body language of me doing what is the closest I can get to a down, I want her on the verbal cue of copy to be able to offer the same behavior. Okay, so that's my final statement. What stages am I going to put in place? Well, first of all, I need to make sure that she understands down. Now, I have to say for Twiggy, she's got the cue for down and flat mixed up. So quite often, if I ask for a down, she will offer a flat. I'm not going to worry about that just now, because from my point of view, if she happens to put flat, her body language response to my pretend doggy down shape, it's not the end of the world. So I'm not going to worry about that. Does that make sense? But what I do need to do is make sure that I'm not giving additional physical signals, that I'm trying to get rid of the verbal cue. So it's just my body language that becomes the new cue. So this is my first go of it. So we'll see how that goes. You ready, baby girl? You ready, baby girl? So I've got to try and hide my stool because obviously we've just been doing that. She's going to be looking for the stool. Can you go there? Wait, I've taken my glasses off. For those of you wearing glasses, if you're going to be doing things where your dog might jump on you, please remove your glasses first. Wait. Down. Good. Okay. Go there. Wait. Pushing it, so I'm taking 2 or 3 steps ahead. Could all fall apart, but remember, she's got a lot of history of learning new, so she's got a lot of resilience to changes. Right there. Copy. Down. Okay, so keeping my verbal cue, and I also, even though I was holding my hands, did you notice I couldn't stop myself? Yeah? Felt myself do it, it was too late. Good girl. You ready? Here. Wait. Copy. Down. Yes. So the word copy means something to her, but you could see that she needed that verbal cue. She needed that assistance. Okay, so we'll leave it there for now for her. Are we understanding the process? Yeah? That's the most important thing. Not that your dog is brilliant at doing something straight away, but that you understand how to get there. Now, obviously, if you have a physical injury or problem that's going to stop you from bending, pick a different behavior that you can actually do. You know, so you might choose to do a sit and just sit up on your knees, for example, or you know, I don't want you hurting yourselves. Ooh, eyebrow raise. There's a cue that's going to be hard to get rid of, Judith. Working with two dogs, always good fun. Beautiful. So Sid and Andrea are so compatible that Sid honestly feels that she's more than happy to do something you're doing at the same time as you're doing it. But that almost messes up her ability to do something for herself, doesn't it? She needs you to be right there with her. But then she's always been a clingy kind of a person who's wanted to be right there with you. Beautiful. Wait, well done. Okay, nice. So nice down. Lots of things you need to change in there. There's still your hand signal, and I bet you've given an additional verbal cue as well. But nice start for Andrea. Who else haven't we not picked on yet? Let's have a look at what's going on here. Remy says, get mummy. Get mummy. Yeah, get mummy, because she's on the floor. See, I thought that was what was going to happen with me, because if I make myself available for play, that's one of my cues, is I'll get on the floor and stick my head on the floor so that they can all attack me. And I was surprised that Twiggy didn't just do that. So that's where the wait cue comes in. Let's get that wait cue really strong so that the dog can do it despite what you're doing. But yeah, that was funny. I like that. Oh, Jill's going for it. That was really nice wait, Jill. Oh, that's a round of applause moment for Jill, and we managed to catch it on video, so you'll get to see that. Show us again, see if she'll do it again. Now I've put you on point. Okay, so Jill, just yes or no with your thumb. Are you still giving a verbal cue for down? You are at the moment, okay. You're definitely giving the copy cue before the down cue. Yes, because it's important that it goes in that order. It looks fantastic. From what I'm seeing, looks amazing. Let's see what else is doing. Let's see what's going on here now. Oh my God, look at you. You make me feel like a good dog trainer. That was amazing, isn't it? So is that just on the copy cue, or are you still having to give extra verbal? This is her thing, isn't it? Yeah, this is her thing. We found your thing together. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so Clever Clogs, your job next, not necessarily today in front of all of us, but is to have the 2 separate behaviours. Yeah, I'm going to try in a minute with Twiggy. That's going to be hilarious. Yeah, because that helps with cue discrimination. When I give this cue, you do this behaviour, but when I give this cue, you do this behaviour. So having the 2 really helps to cement it for them. And I think you look like you're at that stage. You're ready to go. Well done. Where's Sammy? How did you get on, darling? Do you want to chat with us?
Yeah, he's doing it just on the copy now.
Can we have a look?
Yeah. Hold it. Wait. Copy. Yes, good boy. There you go.
Nice. That's lovely.
See?
And I think one of the reasons why, I mean, there was a big argument when it first came out, and this whole process is only actually a couple of years old. When the person who designed it brought it up, there was a whole, like, all the scientists were like, dogs don't have that ability. They don't have that ability to look at us in that way and specifically copy our body language, because it means translating it from one body shape into a completely other body shape and a completely other mind system. So the scientists, and they're still arguing about it even now, you know, it's not possible for a dog to cognitively understand it. So there's dog trainers who are arguing that it is simply that you've taken something we already know and you're changing the cue. It's that simple.
Yeah.
But then we see some other dogs and you look at them, and like Twiggy, for example, and you do it once and she's like, oh, you know, look at Judith and Tilly. It's almost instant. And you think, well, actually, if you think about the science behind that, you're supposed to have to repeat a cue something like 1,000 times before it sits into the brain. But you've done it 3, 4, 5 times and the dog is predictably then giving the same response.
Yeah.
That doesn't compute, does it?
Yeah.
That doesn't compute. If you're saying it doesn't work and they don't understand, it doesn't fit right with me. So let's have a go. I'm going to have a go at seeing if she can discriminate between 2 cues. So she may or may not, and it's only for fun, so there's no stress. You can feel free to laugh. You can laugh at all the extra cues that I'm sure I'm probably going to give wrong. So I'm going to put you to station. Sit, wait. We're going to have the visual cue that already makes her think that she needs to do the chin. Shouldn't say it out loud. But I'm going to go to the other. So I'm going to take my glasses off before I forget. Hang on, I know. Yes, you go there. Wait. Copy. Down. Good girl. All right, so as expected, she's going to go for the more salient cue, the thing that's actually still in the environment. My cue has disappeared. The stool's still there. So from her point of view, it makes sense to go to the stool. That's perfectly understandable. All right, sit, wait. Copy. Down. So improvement, okay, because that time she didn't go for the more salient cue. That's an improvement. She stopped to think. She needed extra help, but she did stop to think. Come here, darling. Sit. Wait. copy. Copy. Chin. And there we go. So quite often, when you start asking for too much, they'll either get frustrated and angry, or they'll give you something that's been reinforced so often in the past that it's a good bet. Okay, so get up, let's go, chin, yes, clever girl. So I'm not ready with those two cues being strong enough on their own individually yet to start bringing the two in. It was worth a test, yeah. What I liked was the fact that on the first attempt, it gave me the information that the more salient cue is the issue on that, in that situation. So I need to, I mean, to be honest, we've only just started the down cue, so that's not that surprising. And she's had more reinforcement for the chin cue, so you know, it could be expected, couldn't it? So that is good. But what I really liked was on the second trial, instead of going straight for the more salient cue, she stood and she waited for more information. So that was a good thing. It's information. I know now that I need to go back and do the down and the chin as two separate training sessions, keep them completely separated until they're really strong as individual cues, and then bring the two together. That makes sense. All right. Any questions, or what do you think, Judith? Are you ready to try and see whether or not you can test on the two? Doesn't matter if it goes wrong, as long as we don't start nagging and saying, hey, you're getting it wrong, ah, do this, do that, do the other. Yes, good girl. Okay, don't leave her thinking for too long, help her. Good. So it was nice leaving a gap, and it depends on the dog. Some dogs, the gap does need to be long for thinking if they're a little bit slower in processing, but for some dogs it can increase frustration. And once they've started to increase in frustration, they really just lose it and they can't. You won't tell me what to do, and I'm not playing anymore. Okay, but beautiful. It's definitely getting there. Okay, let's have a look at you all. Whew. That was exciting, wasn't it? That went better than I thought. Anybody not thinking that their dog's going to do it down with them? Anybody thinking it's really not going to work? Shall we go for a sit? Yeah? Yeah. You're all falling asleep, look. I think it's Maria. She's a bad influence with the dog looking so lazy and cute. Playing poses. It's like footsies. All right, so if we were to do sit, again, we make a statement of what we want the final to look like. So I want my dog to be able to copy a physical cue of me putting myself into a sit position by putting their own bottom onto the floor into a sit position. And I want them to do that on just the verbal cue copy. My stages are going to be that I'm going to make sure, first of all, that the dog's able to offer a sit and they're comfortable and relaxed offering a sit, that they can do that on verbal cue without me having to give hand signals or movements, that they can then, we can change the cue to copy, and that I can then introduce put the whole lot together. So I can introduce, when I do this, you do that. When I give the verbal cue, copy. All right. So it's a bit wordy, isn't it? And when you're describing it, if you don't describe it, that is not, you can't see her, can you? She's basically laid on the side, tenting on my belly. Get up, come on, we're working. There's no point just laying there, is there? Get up. Come on, Miss Comedy Act. Good girl. Sit. Wait. Okay. So we already know she's got a good sit. Wait. Copy. Fluke. Complete fluke. Complete fluke. Good girl. There you go. Sit. Wait. Copy. Good girl. Now I'm going for 3. Let's see if we're going to get 3 for 3. Good girl. Wait. Copy. And again, for a behaviour that, if you think about it, in her life is so highly reinforced, I'm not surprised, because she almost has a default sit anyway. If she's not sure what else to do, she'll offer a sit. So I think that's a fluke, because it's such a strongly reinforced behaviour anyway. But if you have a go, let's see. Yeah, you need a bigger space, Sammy, that's all. So he needs to be in his weight in a stand, possibly. Yeah. So that when you ask him to copy, he has to change body position or put him in the weight further away, so that he'll tend to move towards you to do that action. Nice, Jill. And again, you've got a little hand signal there that you need to be aware that you're giving extra cues. Okay, so remember, when you ask them to copy, you've taken your body language back to the rest position. For your rest position is standing up. So again, it's testing the dog's ability to remember what body position they saw. Nice. You got a question for me, Leanne, or are you just sick of bending? My knee, I've got a, oh, I've forgotten what they call them. There's a cyst at the back of my knee at the moment, so I can't bend my knee very easily. And it's painful to bend my knee. So yeah, I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get there for the down position or the sit position. Okay, so Judith, now all you need to do is you need to be able to be standing up straight. After you've given your physical cue of you sitting, you stand up, then you give the verbal cue to copy what you just did. So she needs to not having that reassurance of you still being face to face with her. Okay, so we'll talk about next week. So take a rest for me. So one of the best things I think about Do As I Do is it's really cementing that theory of how cues work, how environmental cues work, how our physical cues work, how our verbal cues work, and how to change a cue from one thing to another, and how to really cement that new cue. Yeah, so that's what excites me about it. And I thought we were going to take that a bit further next week if we can. No, just need to find out, not that it matters because there's a way around it, but does everybody have a printer? If you do have a printer, put your hand up. So there's 1, 2 people that haven't got printers, is that right? Okay. Do you have colouring pens or something that you can, and paper? So what I would like to do is I would like to share a document that you can print. That one is going to be a triangle, and one's going to be a circle, and one's going to be a square. So completely different shapes. As I say, if you can colour in and make a circle, and colour in and make a triangle, and colour in and make a square, that'd be great. Needs to be on a piece of paper so that it's easy for you to hold, so an A4 piece of paper. And all we're going to do is we're going to introduce, this is dolphin training. They've done this with dolphins, okay? So they did, new cue is shape to do a particular behaviour, all right? And by the end of the course, I think we're probably going to be doing the same with words and reading, which is exciting, isn't it? Yeah, so we start with shapes. So you just need those 3 basic shapes. If I just do you a quick Word document, you can just print it off. If you've got a printer, I'll not make it all completely coloured in so you don't use up too much of your ink, because I know it's not cheap. But if you haven't got coloured pens or something, you need to just pop and get some cheap ones from the supermarket and colour yourself in a sheet of paper with 1 square, 1 triangle and 1 circle. Okay, then I want you to have a think about what behaviour you would like to choose for each of those shapes. So you're going to make your own mind up for that. So you might decide that your circle is a down and your triangle is a sit and your square is a something else. Yeah? So you just name it in your heads. Think about your plan sheet. Think about, which I will remember to send to you, honest. Think about your plan sheet. What is your description of the behaviour? The behaviour is going to be, I show you this shape and you do this behaviour without any other cues. Does that make sense? Then you think about, how do I get there? Well, you're picking behaviours they already know, that already have a cue. So you're introducing a new cue. Where does the new cue go? Anybody want to guess? Where does the new cue go when you're introducing a new cue? Tell me, go on then, Sammy, you should know.
Oops. The new cue goes after the original cue. No, it goes before the original cue. Sorry.
You're getting mounted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he does that. He's got his chin on me.
Yeah. So it's always new cue, old cue. Has to be in that order. Okay. Otherwise, it's not going, the dog just doesn't process it. So it's always new cue, like we've been doing, copy. And then if you need to, you use the old verbal cue to remind them what you're doing. So the new cue is going to be a piece of paper with a shape on it. Then they're going to look at you blank and they're going to go, what? You're going to give your original verbal cue. Yeah, they're going to do the behavior. They're going to get the reward. You're going to slowly fade away that verbal cue by not giving it straight away until eventually that shape comes out, that behavior is offered. Does that make sense? Yeah, does that sound interesting, and does that sound downright boring? All right, so bless Maria, are you going to nip to bed? Because look at you, you look shattered. Oh, well, I hope it protects you and it's all worth it in the end. So anybody else? I've been invited for mine. I haven't made my appointment yet. I can't take time off. I have enough trouble running my whole life as it is without adding extra stresses into it. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, darling, you broke up again. Oh, your computer really doesn't like it, does it? Your internet doesn't like it. Type it for us. Ooh, I hate computers when they crash. I hate it. You're back. No, you're not. You stopped again. All right. Anyway, so I'll type a message to you. All right. So did you see it? Okay, don't worry. If you've got a question, stick it on WhatsApp and I'll respond there. I'll have like 5 minutes before I have to go. But yeah, so if you're not sure, if you've got a question about anything or a comment, or you think, God, this is boring, why on earth have I paid money for this? Then just tell me. Yeah. And I'm going. See you later. Bye, darlings.